Hey, hi, hello. I have a camera I am attempting to film on, and hopefully it looks really good. I put on makeup for the first time in months. Also, I can bring to you today the end of year book tag. Welcome or come back to my channel if you're new here. My name is Kay. Thank you so much for clicking that video because I know it has been a hot minute since I have been here. I started a new job, like I might have said in my last video, but I started a job and I did not have a chance to film over Thanksgiving break because life got in the way, as always. But I am here to you today on this beautiful Saturday morning to be bringing you the books I really want to get through before the end of the year, or books that have been on my TBR the entire year or longer that I really want to knock out in 2023. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So for the end of year book tag, the first question is, are there any books that you started or are in the middle of that you want to finish before the end of the year? And for this, I have two. So this is The Axeman. I am on page 49, chapter 7, and the last time I picked this up was July 6th. And I got this while I was in Iceland for my internship, and it was at a book bar kind of a thing, but they had live music performances and it was so amazing. It was one of my favorite things to do there. And while we were there the first time, I don't drink, so I was just kind of there for moral support of my friends, and I was looking along the shelves to see if anything caught my eye, and this one did. And I didn't buy it right away. I read a little bit of it that first night, and then I ended up buying it the second night I was there because it was still there, lo and behold, and I had continued to read it. So I knew I had to bring it home because what a special souvenir to have. And I only paid 500 ISK for this, which in American currency is about $3. So, and this is a pretty good condition actually. But yeah, I am so excited to have this, and I really want to continue it because this is a historical fiction book about the Axeman, who was a infamous serial killer in New Orleans in the early 1900s, late 1800s. And I just really like the writing of this, and I feel like it's a perfect for that chilly winter atmosphere that, frankly, I don't get in Florida. But the vibes will still be there, and I really want to read this winter and be able to say that I read it this year because you see the bookmark, I'm in it, and I want to finish it. The second book I am in the middle of that I started a few months ago. I started it in October, actually, but it is These Hollow Vows, and I'm reading the Fairy Loot edition. And this was a 2021 release, and I don't know if you remember it, but it had the orange sprayed edges and the suns right here, and the hardcover foiling, which is our two men of this series. And I'm on page 236. I'm marking it with Bree, which is the author's note. And I'm actually really enjoying this one. It's been really fun to be back in a YA world, and I just think this entire edition screams fall. So I started it in the fall, wanting to finish it in the fall, but that did not happen. But I need to finish it before the end of the year because I'm drastically, sadly behind in my Fairy Loot TBR that I own, and I just need to knock some out. And I've already started this one, so it's happening before the end of the year. So question number 2 is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And my answer is no, unless you count These Hollow Vows, which you can, you cannot. But I do not have anything in particular I'm picking up for that, so next question. Number 3 is there a new release you are still waiting for, or is there still a new release that you want to get to before the end of the year? And my answer to the first part of this is yes, Our Cursed Love by Julie Abbey. I'm super excited about it. It's I think it's YA, and it is about, oh my gosh, what is the description of it? Do you ever just add things to your anticipated releases list and not remember what they're about when you try to talk about them? Because obviously same. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so in this, Our Cursed Love is a magical 51st Dates meets Love and Gelato, which is one of my favorite books of all time, set in Tokyo, Japan, about destiny, the impact of choices we make, and the magic of true love. Oh, and it's also best friends to lovers. Okay, so in this, she goes to Japan. She's always wanted to be with her best friend, and she gets selected for a mystical tea leaves reading where it reveals that they are not meant to be together. But after she stumbles upon a secret magic apothecary in the back alleys, they are offered an ancient soulmate elixir created before all love potions were banned by the magical government. Their senior trip that they're on in Japan right now ends up flipping because he forgets who she is. And now they're going to be cursed to forget each other forever, or she has to unravel this curse. And I just think it sounds so cute, and like I said, the Love and Gelato really got me. As for are there any releases you still want to read before the end of the year? All of them. I have a whole Google Doc spreadsheet that is full of my anticipated releases for the year, and I own a staggering amount of them to have only read less than a fourth of what the releases are this year that I wanted to read. So my answer, all of them. Question number 4 is 3 books you want to read before the end of the year. And for this one, like I said, there are so many I could be choosing. But the one that I am just shaming in the comments, boo me in the comments, because this was one of my most anticipated releases of the year. And it's a travesty. I have not read it because I was so angry about the way the second book in this series ended. But I have still not read this chunker. I've still not read Chain of Thorns. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. You either know or you don't care what it's about. The point is, this thing is really thick and apparently put me off of reading it, even though I fly through Cassandra Clare books normally. But how big is this? Oh my gosh. I could kill a man with this. This is bigger, I think, than Queen of Air and Darkness. And that one was a chunker. Oh, there's an epilogue. Let's see if I spoil this whole book for myself. Oh, there's a bonus story in the back of mine. How nice. Wowza. Okay. 778 pages. I don't think I have read a book this thick in, since I read that anthology of 20 short stories. So yeah, this is about that same size. Yeah, I need to get to it because I feel like I'm going to love it because everyone else hated it. So, now these next 2 books are not 2023 releases, but I have had them on my TBR so long, I keep reaching for them. And the first one of those is Midnight in Everwood, and this is a Nutcracker retelling that I have heard is absolutely fantastic and transportive and perfect for Christmas. This cover is probably one of my favorite covers to ever exist. And yeah, I've been wanting to read this for 2 years. I put it on my TBR 3 years ago and it didn't come out till the next year. But this is the most perfect Christmas time read, so I'm getting to it this year. I don't know how, but if I do not get to it this year, yell at me in the comments because I want to read this so badly. And then the second book that I need to get to because I have been reaching for it all year. I have wanted to read it all year. The third book, not even the second, the third book in this trilogy has now come out, or it's about to come out. And this is one of my favorite authors, and I still haven't read the spin-off series of my favorite series ever from her, but Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer. I need to read it. It's also a fairy loot book. It's also from 2021, and this is also just the cutest little size ever. I love it. It's one of the most simple editions of a fairy loot book I have, but that means I can annotate it, so can't complain. And like I want to meet them. I want to meet them. Bridget Kemmerer writes some of my favorite couples, and also look how slick and beautiful this is. But yeah, Bridget Kemmerer writes some of my favorite couples. I know I'm going to love them. I know I'm going to love this book, but I just have not picked it up yet, and that is so rude of me. I am so sorry. Number 5. Is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? And honestly, I think either of these, Defy the Night or Midnight in Everwood, could become a contender. I'm less certain of this one, but I loved The Soulmate Equation, so I think The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren could have a very good chance of becoming a favorite of the year, and mostly because I love the concept of this. It's a documentary film director and a romance novelist, but it also is going to feature my favorite found family ever in a romance book, which is, I just completely blanked on her name, but her, River, and her daughter, I love them so much. And the one I am almost positive will become a new favorite if I manage to read it, because this is also one I've been meaning to pick up all year. Trust of the Emerald Sea. I can hear my friend yelling at me through the camera right now, but I'm going to read it for you. I'm going to read it for you. And I just think I'm going to adore this. I, frankly, do not have the brain cells for Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere World and all those series, but these are standalones set in the Cosmere World, as what I've been told, and they're also like, this is just so much more me. It's fantastical, and I've heard it's very whimsical and very fairy tale-esque, and I think I'm going to love it. And I think there's another one, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, that Brandon Sanderson also wrote as part of this standalone secret project thing, and I also think I'm going to love that one, but I was yelled at by my friend that I have to read this one first because she knows I'm going to love it, so I really want to squeeze this into December. And the 6th question of this tag is, have you started any reading plans for next year? And I have all year. This year I wanted to do Fairy Loot or Book of the Month reading vlogs, and that is 100% happening next year. I'm going to find a way. But I also just want to get through my subscription book, owned TBR, as well as the books I have bought. according to my Goodreads, I have about 400, give or take, books on my shelves. And of those 400 books, I need to read a whole lot of them. I've read about over 200. I've read over 200 of them, but that means I still have 200 left to read. And frankly, not all of them I bought myself, just so we're clear. But and a few of them are textbooks, blah, 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 blah. You get the gist. But that's my goal. I utilize my library a whole lot, but I need to really buckle down and just read the books that are in my room. And that is my biggest plan. I think I want to do one of those reading my own TBR vlogs series, or get a TBR jar or prompt jar, something. I need something to motivate me to do it. And I love watching those videos, so I really want to do that for myself. Also, I want to do, like I said, the subscription books vlog, because I have FairyLoot Book of the Month, and I also bought myself some random books from various subscriptions. So I have a Beacon book box, a Once Upon a Book Club, and a Owl Crate book that I also have. So those are just really random, but I also have those. But yeah, oh my goodness, I forgot how much I love filming. I also know I probably was talking super fast in this video, so thank you so much for bearing with me. Let me know in the comments any answers to any of the questions of the end of year book tag. I would love to know. But if you don't want to answer those, how about answer one book that you have to read before the end of 2023? I would love to hear that. And I just love chatting about books that are on your priority TBR. I love hearing about those, and I especially love it because I feel like I myself never pick up my priority TBR near enough, even though I look at them all the time and say I want to read them. Sorry, I'm looking at the bookshelves staring at me because it's staring at me in judgment, which I'm sure you are too. But yeah, if you want to stick around and hang out with me in my little bookish corner of the internet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow me on any of my social medias that are in fact linked below. And I love chatting with you, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, I'm Kay. Bye!